Hi friends, welcome to my car. So there's one way that people spend their money that's going to determine if they're going to be free from money or if they're going to be controlled and manipulated by money to pay their bills and eat and other stuff like that. Just one way that separates all people on how they spend their money. So the different people that there's the poor in the middle and the fake rich. I'm going to put them into one category, the fake rich, the middle, and the poor. And then the true rich is the other category. And the one way that they spend their money differentiates the one category, the true rich, from the other category, which is the poor, the middle, and the fake rich. And here's what it is. The true rich spends at least a percentage of their money on acquiring assets that pay them passive cash. The fake rich, the poor, and the middle do nothing to spend any of their money on assets that produce them passive or residual cash. So an asset is something that puts money into your pocket or your bank account every month, every week, passively, with or without your involvement. And the opposite of that is going to be ordinary earned income money, which is what most self-employed people are doing, everyone with a job. It's what all the fake rich, the middle, and the poor are doing. The middle, the poor, and the fake rich are doing nothing to have their money work for them, while the true rich are having their money work for them by putting at least a portion of it into assets that produces them money each and every week, each and every month, passively. So I'm going to tell you how you can apply that to your own life, even if you're dirt broke or not, even if you're a high wage earner, you're part of the fake rich, the people with a large 6-figure, 7-figure income, but they're the fake rich because they have no passive money coming in. So whether you're making a lot of money or a little bit of money, it's like you're this hamster on this wheel. That's why they call it a hamster wheel paycheck. You have to keep showing up and recreating it every day, every week, every month, or it stops coming in. So therefore, you're not free. You have no freedom. You're controlled and manipulated as you sell your time along with your mind and your body for a paycheck that you have to constantly show up to keep recreating every day, every week, every month. And so it doesn't matter how much money you make. That is your life. That is your life. So the true rich are the ones that have done this enough to where they built up this beautiful passive income that exceeds all of their expenses. So once that's the awesome threshold, we'll call it the American dream, which is, in this context, it's everybody's dream, because I've never heard anybody say that they wish to be controlled and manipulated through money dependency so they can pay their bills and eat. Nobody wishes for that. Everyone wants to be free financially so they can spend their time how they want, when they want. And whenever anybody says otherwise, they're flat out lying through their teeth. And you can't trust what they say from now on, knowing that they lie, because it's just not true. Nobody wants that. Everyone wants to be a free human being. And you don't have it without enough passive income that it exceeds all of your expenses. And that's what separates the true rich from everyone else, the fake rich, the poor, and the middle. So here's how you can start applying that now that you get this conceptually. You have to invest. When most people hear investing, they think of buying stocks and maybe flipping houses and, anything that you buy low, hopefully it goes up in price so you can sell it for a higher price later and you got a gain. That's not really investing. That's more like gambling. And you can become a professional gambler if you want. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's not really investing. You still have to keep showing up and trading time for it regardless. So real investing is when you acquire an asset that you own. You don't get rid of it. You keep it because it keeps shelling out cash into your pocket or into your bank account every week, every month. An example of that would be, instead of buying houses and selling them at flipping them for a higher cost, it would be to buy houses and rent them out and collect the monthly income from that. And to make sure, to keep it passive, you have a property manager that manages it. So there's a big buffer between you and the tenants. So you never even know them, they never know you, because there's a really good property manager. So you'd want to pick a good one. I do that. I love it. And I have the best property manager. They're the buffer. They do everything. I do nothing. It's a wonder. I just put together the deals to acquire these assets. And then from there, the property manager takes over and it's passive income for me. A major problem for that, and a brick wall for that matter, is who has, say, $50,000 for a down payment on a house that's going to give them a return of maybe $50 to $100 of passive cash every month? Just about nobody. Okay, so another way to build passive cash is you buy a business or start a business. But who has time to do that? So that's another problem, maybe just a flat roadblock for just about everybody. Gosh, starting a business, that could cost $1 million or $100,000, or maybe you don't have it, and a bank's not going to give you a loan unless you got something of value you can put up against it as collateral, and then you risk losing everything. So who's going to do that? So here's how I got started, and here's the only way that's really available for almost anybody, and something that very few people take advantage of, unfortunately. But I did, and here is what it is. 10 years ago in 2007, so it's 2017 right now, the girl I was dating got involved in a home business. And at first I said no. Lack of belief in myself, skepticism about that. But I knew her personally. And so when I saw her get results, like really good, impressive results, she wasn't an infomercial where you question if it's full of shit, you know what I mean? So then that was the thing that I decided, okay, this is as real as it's ever going to get for me. She's not an infomercial. Okay, sign me up. So I signed up. And instead of investing, like 6 figures, 7 figures to buy a business like you normally would in traditional business, it was only a couple $100. Pretty awesome. Instead of 200,000 or 2 million, it was like 200 or 240 to be exact, for the one that I got into. And it's less now. It's like 140 now. So it's come down since I got in. But anyway, that was my starting point. But I didn't have the money. And I'll get into that in other videos. I got other trainings on that. I don't want to get into that here. But it was something I had to figure out. I didn't have the money, so I had to figure out a way to come up with the money. And I had to get super creative and just get out of the box. And a lot of people will not get outside of the box, so they stay stuck. And that's an inside job. So please take that lesson. You have to get outside of the box. You can't say, I don't have time, I don't have money, I don't have skills. You have to get outside of the box and figure it out. Otherwise, you'll always be saying those things. So anyway, I figured it out, and I made plenty of training videos to show people how to come up with money, even if they have none. And time, too, for that matter, to come up with time so that people have none, so they have more free time tomorrow than they do today. And then skill, the other thing. I didn't have any, I've never built a business or a home business before, but I just made a decision in my brain that I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. But I'm going to figure it out. I love learning. I've learned other things in the past, albeit kind of slow. And typically to get something down, I have to go over the same material over and over again, repetitious, until I really get it. But so be it. I've done it in the past. But what was really particularly exciting about this particular learning experience is that this time I'm going to be learning a skill that will set me free from money dependencies so I can spend my time how I want. And that's pretty exciting. That's something everybody wants. Again, it goes back to either somebody's going to be honest about being able to spend their time how they want whenever, or they're lying. And the only way anybody can do that is to have passive income that covers all their expenses. So connecting those dots, it became crystal clear, obvious, decisive, direct, and all these things that, okay, I have to learn this skill of building up passive money so that I can eventually free myself from needing to show up to keep creating money so I can spend my time how I want. Because that's what I want. That's what everybody wants. We all want to be free people. And there's no freedom without it. There just isn't. And freedom of the mind is always going to precede all other freedoms. That is for sure. Nobody gets freedom of the mind, then they're stuck at a job or some self-employed experience where they constantly have to show up on their hamster wheel, or they stop getting paid and have to keep showing up recreating that dollar. And that's not for me. It's not for anybody. Either somebody's lying or they're honest about, no, that's not for me. So I learned that new skill, and I'm still learning it to this day. I love learning. I'm learning new things all the time. But that's the thing that can reach down to anybody, no matter where they're at, no matter how much money they're making or how little money, or somebody has no money. I mean, there's stories of people that were homeless and destitute that got started in a home business. They've got outside of that box and came up with the investment money to get started. They purchased that asset, developed and nurtured that asset until it got them this beautiful passive income to where they could eventually, wow, this is great. I can step away now if I want to. I can walk away if I want to, and I'm covered. I can take a trip, be with my family, do this or that, and I'm covered. I'm a free human being, and that's what it's all about. So that's the difference. That is the one single, there's not many things you can say. There's just one, because usually it's not true. There's many blah, blah, blah. But there's just one thing. It's just really one thing. In this instance, is one of those few instances where you can honestly, morally, and intellectually honestly say, it's just one difference in people's spending habits that separates them from either being the true rich or the fake rich, middle, or the poor. And it always comes down to, do you want to be free with your life and how you spend your time, or don't you? And everyone wants that, or otherwise they're lying. Everyone wants to be free with their time. And you can't get it if you depend on your job for an income, or if you depend on showing up for any hamster wheel, whether you're self-employed or you have a job. You cannot get freedom living like that on a hamster wheel. Hamster wheels are for hamsters, not people. Knee slapper. All right, so if you're interested to see what I'm doing, this thing that reaches down to anybody no matter where they're at, and you're hungry to learn, and you want to get outside of that box of, you know, whatever the problem is, money, time, skills you lack, a checkered, questionable past, whatever it is, you tried other things and you failed. If you want to get outside of that box and start figuring all that stuff out, then let's do it. Just contact me via private message. I'll show you what I've got. It's all around health and fitness. Health and fitness. There's many ways to start making passive income. But the one that I want to concentrate on is the one that is most needed. That's health and fitness, because almost everybody is sick. Almost everybody over the age of 30 or 40 is on medications to regulate their health. And the most common cause of death, 8 out of 10 people do not die of natural causes. It's the few who die of natural causes. The majority die of lifestyle-related causes. That should be flipped around. So this is the most needed thing. Chronic disease and chronic money problems, they go hand in hand in most cases, but they're both out there either together or separate in people's lives. Chronic financial problems, chronic disease, chronic health problems. So I like to show people how to create passive income centered around solving those problems of chronic financial problems and chronic health problems. So that's what I'm all about. If that turns you on, then reach out to me and I'll reach back out to you. I'll show you what I got. You can review the info. You can ask me anything that you want. I'll answer anything. And I think you'll find it to be a refreshing experience. As long as you're not BSing me and you're just honest and upfront, you'll enjoy it. I can promise you that. Because most people, unfortunately, in our industry of home business people, most people are very weird. And you ask them questions like, what's the startup cost? Or what is it? And they get very weird. You know what I'm talking about. Or you're invited to come to some social gathering. We're going to have fun. We're going to have some drinks and some food. And you show up and it's a big business pitch, right? And you're like, oh, you didn't bait and switch me, right? I mean, we've all been there, done that. So I'm completely the opposite. I don't do anything like that. And I think you'll enjoy this process of how I share this with people. And at the end of the day, it's your call what you want to do. So I'll talk to you soon. I'll hear from some of you, maybe quite a few of you very soon. And feel free to share this video, because at the very least, these ideas in this video, this one way in which people spend their money is so different that separates the true rich from the fake rich, the poor in the middle, that needs to get out there. Because if more people knew about this, it would F up the plans of the people, we'll call them the top 0.2%, that needs people's unquestionable obedience so that they can continue to control and manipulate people through money dependency. They've got 49 out of every 50 people, that's 98% of the population, they got their unquestionable obedience controlled and manipulated through money dependency. So if more people got onto this idea of start looking at acquiring assets and developing that pay you passive cash so that you can become free from that nonsense. And we'll get started wherever you're at and we can do it, right? So people need to start learning about that. And then, it's good for everybody individually and even our country as a whole. Everybody benefits from that. So share this video and I'll hear from you soon so we can talk about what I've got going on with health and fitness and passive money and freedom. So bye for now. And I got my website too, tomberkenmeyer.com. That's tomberkenmeyer.com, just like it's spelled here on social media. And that's all I got for you. Bye for now.
Mwah.